Alright guys, what is up everybody? Welcome back to part 4 of what if Deku was Toge Inumaki. Sorry I messed the intro up. No, I don't really do good intros anyway. But I just want to say thank you again for reaching me over 900 subscribers. Hell, I think everybody keeps saying by probably next month I'll be hitting 2k before I even know it. And that is all thanks to you. I just want to say I've got a special thing planned for the 1k special. Yeah, so instead of people just wondering, oh, I wonder what it could be, I said it in comments in one of the videos, but I'll just say it now. I'm doing what if Deku was Yuta Okkotsu from JJK. He's one of my favorite characters. If you don't know who he is, go check out his character, especially in the manga. He was part of the um, he was part of a certain manga story. Was what Jujutsu Kaisen was originally going to be, but I like his character, and I'm going to do a bit of a darker what if on that one. So people want to see that kind of story. Again, just subscribe, I guess, if you want to see that kind of story. But anyway, it's getting too long, it's getting too fast, and I'm pretty sure you all want to hear Toge. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. So, last part we left off of where Deku was doing the physical fitness test as well as the Heroes vs Villains exercise. He was partnered up with Bakugo, and his opponents were Eijiro Kirishima and Shoten Todoroki. Bakugo fought fiercely against Kirishima, wearing him down slowly, but wearing himself down in the process. Since he was a lot less brash, he decided not to use the gauntlet. As he defeated Kirishima, he got flash frozen by Todoroki out of nowhere, only for Deku to come in and teach Todoroki his place, as he made him submit to him by kneeling down and be helpless, as it gave him an awful reality check that he couldn't swallow. And now this is where we're gonna go into part 4 now. So, over the next few days, Deku would just be learning, doing his usual stuff as Bakugo just whispered to him, "Hey dude, I had the support courses, I heard they got a few things that they're making at the moment that don't need to be put through to an official company. So why don't you try and ask him to make that design?" She goes, Deku just thinks, 7-7. As he nods and he goes, "Alright, let's check it out at lunch." As well, Aizawa tells him to shut up and be quiet. And he says, as they say sorry. Well, Bakugo says sorry. And then, at lunch, they walked over to the support course where a huge explosion happened as the door was flying towards, Izuku, as he just said stop, as the door froze in midair, as he just grabbed it and put it onto the ground as he released it, as then it just flies into the wall, but doesn't cause much damage as it only hit the skirting. As, Paolo runs out and says, "Come on, mate, what have I told you about destroying the damn workshop again? Look, we have to replace a new window? Where'd the door go?" As he looks on the ground. Wait, but it was going flying towards the window. As, Deku taps him on the shoulder as he turns around and is like, "Whoa, oh, did you stop the door?" As Izuku just nods. Oh. As Bakugo just says, "We're here to see if we can get an item approved to be made for my friend here." "Oh yeah? Well, what kind of item is he looking for?" "Well, due to his quirk, he can't exactly speak normally." Okay, can you get him to show me, how?" As a pink-haired girl pops her head out the door and was listening intently, as Deku tries to speaks his little rascal language, as he goes, "Kombu, Izuku Midoriya, tuna, tuna mayo, salmon roe. What he was trying to say, well, what he said there was, hello, his name is Izuku Midoriya. His quirk doesn't allow him to speak any other words without causing them to come reality. However, it doesn't seem to affect foods, and instead of saying a bunch of random food, he only says rice ball fillings. And Mr. Palladier is just going, well, that's certainly an interesting one. It's not something you hear or see every day. As Suzuki just nods. As then, well, Barco just explains, instead of just trying to explain, instead of getting him to explain, I'll just say it instead. Can you make a mask that can translate his phrases / sentences into actual proper sentences? I can, but we need a AI pattern and like a phrasing, so that could take a week. As well, he says we'll need to borrow him for a bit, as May is now fully intrigued and rushes up to Deku and just looks at him like all over and says, "Can I also get something made for you? Oh, that's interesting. Wait, what are those weird circles? Interesting." It's like, Hatsume, what have I told you about sizing people up? And she goes, oh, sorry, I should have asked first. Hey, my name's Mei Hatsume. I'm one of the students here at the support course. Excuse her, she's a bit sporadic and doesn't know manners. Nope, I sure don't, sir. And, I know that's the problem, Hatsume, what if I keep telling you? Anyway, what if I told you, clean up your mess? She goes, okie dokie, and then walks back. We'll need to borrow him for, I'd say 2 days just to get his patterns of speaking down. So if we can record what he's saying and then have him translate what he was saying by writing it down or typing it out, we can get it to use a rhythm of movements that will be able to translate. It's like what Einstein uses. Instead of typing in full sentences, he uses certain structures and commands. So a tap, a pause, a tap will equal explanation or something like that. As Izuku just nods, then he waves goodbye to Pal later. As on the way to the cafeteria, they bump into Setsuna and a few of her friends. As she says, "Oh, Izuku, how are you?" As Izuku would just say, "Sushi, sushi." Well, not sushi. Salmon. Oh, that's good to hear. Where did you two just come from? As he points behind him and says, "Salmon's bonito flakes, spicy tuna mayo." You were just at the support course building, and some of my friends just saying you can understand him? Well, it's not that hard to understand once you get a grasp of how he speaks. As Barker just says, yeah, honestly, I've been around. It's kind of amazing that she picked it up so fast. There's a few gaps here and there, but it seems that she's managed to pick up what he's saying. As the both look, wow, you two must be impressive if you can understand what the hell he's saying. It's like, just look out for his tone. It's basically like Mandarin. It's a tonal-based language. If he says salmon with a upbeat tone, that means it's a happy yes. If he sounds with a downbeat tone, that means he's just saying it as a flat yes to an answer. So it's all about tones and and how many sentences or ways he uses it. As everybody's just like, oh, I see. As Setsuna just say, well, we're on our way to the cafeteria. Do you want to join us? As Deku just smiles. Well, behind the mask, smiles and says, "Salmon." All right, that's great. As they all go to the cafeteria, Deku's excited to see that they've got a new variety of rice balls to try. As well, Setsuna and Bako and her friends get food as well. As well, Baku's looking at the rice ball he got given, as he says, I don't, never was really a fan of this flavor. Here you go. Wait, you don't like pickled plums? Setsuna asked. No, I was never a big fan of them. Bit too, I don't know, there's a weird off-putting taste. Well, at least he likes them, I guess, so I guess it's just more of a reward for him as, well, as then Deku starts putting out his mask and just starts eating. As, well, takes off his mask and starts eating. So, as one of, Setsuna's friends just asked, why do you wear the mask exactly? As he points towards the little circles around his mouth. Ah, I see. But can't you just explain that it's your quirk? As, well, as he's in the middle of eating, he just takes one big gulp, and he says, sushi kelbu kombu. And, well, Setsuna just says, well, he basically said that, yeah, he can, but it's a bit hard to explain how that actually affects it. As the friend that was asking was actually Hinako. He says, oh, I see. It's a bit rough. Then Setsuna asks, well, why? So then why were you down at the support course? I noticed you were coming down that way. I forgot to ask earlier, I thought. Well, we were getting something made for him and Buck answers, well, for Deku, because he was too busy eating. Bucker, while taking a few mouthfuls here and there of his food, says, well, since that problem came up with him not being able to communicate with people, we decided to go and get a mask made that can translate his rice ball language. However, it takes a few seconds to process it takes a second or two to process. However, we just need to go, that's what we asked him to do, so he's just going to do recordings tomorrow and the day after, most definitely, to understand what the hell he's saying. It's different when you're learning, but it's harder for an AI to pick up on the subtle differences. Oh, I see. Makes a lot more sense, actually. And I assume that it will have some other features as well. How did you guess? As Deku finished with his pickled plum rice ball that he got given from Bakugo, as he just say, sushi. Well, no, not sushi. Salmon, bonito flakes, tuna mayo, tuna. As so not only does it translate, but it can also be turned. It can be turned off and used as a loudspeaker. That'd be very good. As well as everybody was just saying, well, it must seem that they get along quite well if they can understand each other properly. As well, Kinako, that's next to Setsuna, nudges her a bit. Isn't that right? It's like, shut it, Kinako. As the rest of her friends start laughing. They all finish up lunch, then head back to their classes after waving goodbye. And then a few of us friends says, well, you're right about him being very attractive, especially without his mask on. Yeah, well, I was just lucky, but I wanted to know his situation, because he always looked very happy when he was wearing it. When he was wearing it, people don't understand him. I guess it was just the rice balls, though. As a few of them just going, ooh, I hear wedding bells. As she just told them to shut up as everybody walked into their classes, and then the day passes. As a week later, they're all heading. Aizawa told them about the USJ, as it was fortunate enough that the USJ's date happened to line up on when the completion of his mask had finished. So Izuku had got to use his mask and test it out. As well, Pal later says, "Well, I know you got to go to your field trip, but quickly, Just give it a test. As I said, just say a sentence. As he would speak his raspy language, and after a second, he would say, "Is it working now?" However, this is in like sort of a text to speak with a bit of Izuku's tone into it. It works. Yes. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, we might need to. Yeah, we might need to adjust just the pitch to match your actual voice. But seeing as you can't speak a normal phrase without causing something to explode or without a weird consequence to happen, I think we'll just be content with that for now. And as Izuku just says, well, I can get Aizawa to come and help me with this, but I doubt he wants to help me just try and record my voice by having his quirk turned on the entire time. Yeah, that man is. Oh, that man's a bit too hard on himself and others, so probably best. Uh, then, well, Izuku just waves him goodbye and says, "Oh, good luck with the USJ." As then everybody's getting. Well, he runs back to class just in time and says, "Ah, I see you got your mask, nerd." He said, "Yep, I do." And everybody just around him's like, "Wait, he's speaking? I thought he couldn't speak." As he said, "No, he's not speaking. The mask is speaking for him." As I take a look at the black mask and see like a little voice box at the front of it. Oh, I see. It acts like a translation device. Yep, that's like what Bakugo said. It acts like a translation device. As people just saying, this guy is so much easier to talk to you with now. Hmm. But it doesn't just serve as a translation device. It also serves as like a amplifier to my voice. Makes it louder. So it can be used as a hero equipment as well. As people are just going, I see. Then Ida then files everybody into the bus as they're all talking on the way to the USJ. As now they get well, they get to the building as the pro hero or the pro rescue hero 13 introduces herself. Hello, everybody. My name's 13. I'm one of the pro hero instructors that you'll be having today. And I hope to teach you about the importance of rescue heroes and being prepared for just about anything. She gives a whole spiel about quirks being dangerous. As then, well, she asks, well, Aizawa why is All Might not with him, well, with them at the moment, as he said. As he says, well, All Might kind of got held up. It seems that there was a bunch of villain attacks taking place at the same time, so he needs to take care of them. As she just goes, all right then. Well, it shouldn't be too bad. As they start walking in, the door's shut behind them, slammed shut. As everybody's going, what the hell? Is this meant to happen? But then the lights shut off as everything goes dark. As then, no, as then a bunch of portals start appearing everywhere. As well, appearing everywhere at the base of the stairs. In the middle of the center of the USJ. Villains start pouring out in droves. The last ones to appear out of the portals was a cloudy black and purple misty-like figure. A man with blue hair, red eyes, and hands all over his face and body. And a purple bird-like creature that seemed to be the same size as All Might, with an exposed brain and a lifeless look to it. As I was just saying, 13, protect the kids. I'll take care of this. You call for backup. As, well, everybody just... Well, as he tries to get Kaminari to call for backup, he's saying, I can't get a signal through, it's jammed. It's like, just great. 13, protect them, I'll go down and take care of this. As Deku just says, Aizawa, stop, let me help you. You're not a pro hero, so it's our job to help, well, help you. Just stay there and do what 13 tells you. As then he just turns off his mask and then says, Aizawa, stop! As Aizawa just stopped moving, he's like, what are you doing? It's like, it's reckless. And then he turns it back on and then says, it's reckless to try and go there by yourself. Let me accompany you. This is what my quirk is made for. As he says, oh, alright then. Just release the power now. Then the two of them start heading down. Bolting down the stairs as it wasn't. Bakugo just couldn't stand to watch as Izuku was getting all the fun, so he started blasting over. Before Kurogiri could teleport and warp everybody away. So as he's following Deku and Aizawa, he's saying, "Come on, guys, think you can do this without me?" They said, "Bakugo, just don't be reckless." Yeah, I got it. As then the three of them rush out to where the villains are, as they all seem to be pinned to each other's backs, as the villains start surrounding them. Well, as Shigaraki's just laughing. Ah, pro hero, you think a bunch of kids can help you? Ah, wait till All Might sees this. He'll be infuriated about the uselessness that he is. Ah, heroes can't do anything right, can they? As then the three of them are fighting. Aizawa is using his capture scarf to smack around and throw the villains around. Bakugo's just flying towards the villains using his speed and overwhelming ferocity to, almost disarm the opponents and rattle them, and using his explosions to catch them off guard. Then Midoriya just shouts out and says, "Guys, cover your ears now!" As Bakugo shouts, "Aizawa, cover your ears, come on!" Aizawa covers his ears as well as Bakugo does. And then Izuku just turns his mask, the volume of his mask up while turning off the translation. And then just shouts, "Kneel!" As everybody starts kneeling to the ground. And then he just screams to the one in front of him, "Sleep!" As about 3 dozen of the villains just fall to the ground, collapsed. As he starts coughing a bit. Then everybody, after watching them fall to the ground, Aizawa and Bakugo release their ears from their heads. Well, release their hands from their ears. And then, as I was just saying, it seems that it caused a toll on him, but he wasn't lying when he said it was a smart choice to take him. Alright then, let's finish up his mess. As Shigaraki's getting a bit annoyed and he's like, "That's just cheating! That damn kid!" As, he orders, "Alright, Nomu, kill them all!" As, Nomu starts fighting against Aizawa as Aizawa's barely avoiding his punches and trying to cancel his quirks as he thinks that it's just super strength that the creature has. However, when he gets hit, he gets sent flying. As Deku sees this and he looks at the Nomu and just screams, "Stop!" as it freezes in place. Then he looks at the beast directly in the eyes and looks back at him as he walks over to where Aizawa was standing and just says, "Die." As the beast just withers away and any sort of airflow that was in the area picked up the ashes. And then for some reason it seems like almost Deku just snapped watching Aizawa be hurt. Then Kurogiri stood before him trying to warp him away. As then Deku just, well, in a fit of rage, just says, submit! As Kurogiri just couldn't move he couldn't move. And as then he points at Shigaraki, and it seems that Kurogiri teleported Shigaraki right in front of Deku. As then he just says, bow down. As, well, Shigaraki gets on all fours, bowing to Deku as he's saying, what the hell? I can't, you fucking kid. As, well, Aizawa was just trying to tell him, saying he was okay. Deku still was in a bit of a fit of rage. He says, you. As he turns back on his mask translation, you honestly thought you could come in here and hurt the people I am trying to protect. You thought you could hurt my classmates, my teachers, and get away with it. You villains sicken me. As he just, well, then he lets out one final word. Pain. As he would, when he says pain, Shigaraki starts crying out in the most blood-curdling screams. Bloody murder, as if he was being torn from the inside out. His skin was getting burned by acid. The pain started welling up even more as he just then passes out. Then he looks Kurogiri dead in the eyes and, well, says, sleep. Then All Might busts through the door and sees that everybody, well, Bakugo is fighting against a lot of the villains that were still left over in the court very easily, as he could just see Deku and Aizawa right next to each other, as Shigaraki and Kurogiri were just on the floor in front of him. And as All Might rushed down and says, what happened? Is everybody okay? As he said, well, as Aizawa said, I'm fine, just a broken arm. But as then Deku kind of falls to his knees as he pulls on the mask and starts coughing blood. As Buck is seeing that, just lets off a huge explosion that knocks out the rest of the villains, then runs over to Deku and is like, shit, you shouldn't overuse it. As he grabs the cough medicine out of his pocket and basically just makes him drink. It's like, you idiot. You can't use that many words in succession without causing backlash. You know this! As he turns back on the mask and says, I'm sorry, Kachan. Yeah, sorry my ass. At least you managed to catch all the villains, but don't do that. You know, if you keep doing that, you won't be able to use your voice anymore. You're the one thing that allows you to be so powerful and be able to have people rely on you. And, well, All Might just says, young man, did you do all this? Yes, I used my quirk to finish the job. As Aizawa says, the thing that was very powerful even without its quirks that I took away, it broke my arm just with its sheer strength alone. That thing, even you would have had a hard time facing it, All Might. It was that strong. Yet Izuku took it down with a single word. Wait, where is it? It's dead. It's withered away. He killed somebody? No, it wasn't a person. It was a thing. As he Well, as All Might said, well, we must get these guys into custody. I've got the heroes are on the way, so let's just get them rounded up. As all the pro heroes and officers arrive, as they're taking away the captured, well, captured Kurogiri, Tomura, and everybody else. As the people are watching from the darkness, as they're pulling back, Sir, Tomura has been captured. As then there was a reply. Well, looks like we must go into the backup plan then. As then well, the ominous voice cut out. Then the next, then after all the heroes had arrived and everybody was rounded up, Izuku was taking a recovery girl to get his voice healed, as the cough medicine could only keep his voice from straining even more. It was just the vocal cords were already damaged. As she says, "Well, laddie, you seem to like to strain your voice, don't you? Just be careful with it. I can only hear so much, but if they're permanently damaged, I can't do anything about it. I can only hear increase the recovery, decrease the recovery time. That's about it. You're just lucky you have a lot of stamina in you. Otherwise, I'd have taken weeks to heal." As Izuku's just saying, "Thank you very much." Yeah, you can thank me by not getting into trouble again. Sorry. But then he turns his mask up and says, "Thank you very much." Oh, I can't stay mad at you. Yeah, take a lollipop and go. As Deku just walks out and Buck greets him as he walks out. Interesting day we had. Bit of fun, wasn't it? It says, yeah, a little bit. Then everybody, they all head home as they were interrogating Shigaraki and, interrogating him and Kurogiri, as they seemed to be the one that had most of the ideas of the plan known. As they were trying to get him to talk, but nothing worked, no matter interrogation or questioning. As Ozawa says, "There's only one solution I know of that can get him to talk." And everybody's just like, What's that?" Izuku Midoriya. He said, "The student that took these guys down? Well, I found out that when he used his quirk on people, they were uncontrollably able to spoke whatever he asked or demanded of them. It's the only way I can think of, and it's not like we have any other leads to possibly be able to back this up." Alright then. Well, we'll try our way first and see if it reveals anything, but we'll have to kind of, then if we can't find anything, we'll ask your student. This isn't a matter for someone that's not even a pro hero just yet. Says, "Alright, but you're wasting your time if he doesn't talk." Yeah, Zawa. Just go back to teaching your class. As he says, "Well, due to the recent events that happened, it seems that the next 2 weeks for you guys have been cancelled. So, yeah, do whatever you want in that time." As he says, but try and train, as it seems that the UA Sports Festival is still going ahead. So take this 2 weeks of training as an opportunity to get stronger. As well, Deku didn't know what he was going to do over the next 2 weeks. As he was just thinking, what can I do? I can't really train my quirk. I mean, I can, but it's a bit hard to try and do it when anything you say becomes a power. As he's just thinking, then he gets as he was walking well, as everybody gets back, it was around about this end of the day. So he was walking along, and he said somebody, somebody familiar runs back up behind him, and it's like, as he gets a tap on the shoulder and looks to his, well, tap on his left shoulder, as then he looks to the right and says, as she says, well, I can't fool you again, can I? As she says, nope, you cannot. Wait, you're speaking normally? Oh, wait, that's right, the mask. As he says, well, he nods his head. I heard what happened, and I heard how you kind of saved the day. See, you're here already. Yeah, I guess. Is it a bit of a touchy subject for you? Well, yeah, let's talk on the way back. As the two are walking, he explained how, he started to explain his past. Well, when my quirk first manifested, I hurt someone around me. But it was an accident, you couldn't have known. Yeah, it was an accident, but it still scarred me, sort of. So I was always hesitant of speaking. That's why I didn't like use my quirk if I didn't have to. But it led to a complex. I didn't like seeing people hurt, and today that kind of reared its head as something ugly. And what was that? Well, today I fell into a blind rage at seeing people I know be hurt. I didn't like it. It's something that scared me. And, well, Setsuna just says, well, there's things that always scare each of us. Whether it be ourselves or what we can become. It doesn't change the fact that what you did today saved many people's lives, and it could have been much worse if you weren't there. It doesn't matter if what you did was what you thought was wrong. It's everybody sees you as being a nice person. I see you as being a nice person. For a man that, well, for someone who doesn't know how to communicate properly, you certainly get across your emotions very well. How about this? To cheer you up, you've got the next, well, we've got the next 2 weeks off, right? As Izuku just nods. Why don't you, why don't you train with me? And maybe we can go out on a date on Saturday. As he just says a date, it's like, yeah, well, it seems you need to let loose a bit. And I don't like seeing you being very miserable at yourself. So he just thinks, sure, why not? Do you want me to pick and choose, or as Setsuna said, well, I asked you, so I'll decide things. As Izuku just nods, and then they, then they train together over the next week. Then it rolls around to Saturday, as he was just standing in front of the station out in the middle of the city. As then Setsuna account, I walked up and says, "Hey, I hope I didn't make you wait too long." As Izuku still had his mask on and says, "No, you didn't make me wait too long. You know you don't have to put the mask on around me." As, well, Izuku just says, but I don't like the look people give me when they see my face. Look, don't care about what other people think, okay? Think about just think about yourself. Are you gonna always hide yourself from everybody you meet? Oh, I think I like the look of it. I thought you were quite cute when I first saw you. As Izuku's face turns red as he takes the mask off and says, "Sushi, well, no, not sushi. Salmon, bonito flakes. Don't be too hard on yourself. Alright, let's go." As Deku just says, sushi, salmon? Tuna mayo? Well, yeah, I had a list planned out for everything. As, well, Izuku just followed, Setsuna along as, she, well, she guided him over to an arcade. It says, it's like, I like games a bit, so I hope you don't mind. As he decided laughing, he goes, sushi, oh wait, salmon, tuna. As he says, wait, you like games too? No way, I didn't know. See, best of both worlds. As the two, just sit around long, play some old games, win a few prizes. Setsuna was just pointing at the machine and she's like, "Oh, I can't get it. Why is it so hard?" As it says, as he points towards it and says sushi, it's like, sure, you can have a try, but these games are rigged, I swear. As he, as then he has a go at the claw machine. As well, it's one of those UFO Japanese claw machines, so it's a bit harder. As he manages to hook the tag and pull it off, and it falls down. It says and it's like, "What? No way! How did you do that?" As this, sushi bonito flakes. Oh, wait. So, well, how long have you tried to do this before? It says as he just thinks. Sushi, salmon, tuna mayo. It says, wait, so you always play these as a kid? And he just nods. As he grabs the prize and gives it to Setsuna, and he's like, wait, are you sure? As he just nods, and as then he just picks up and puts his mask on, but keeps it below his chin, just so it can still translate what he's saying. He says, well, you didn't show me a good time, so it's the least I can do to say thanks. And she just said quietly, "You big dummy." And then they go off to a cafe where Setsuna just says, "This is the place this is the place I like to enjoy with my friends. I thought you might like it too." Yeah, I know it's not your typical, no, it's not your rice balls or anything, but I didn't know if you'd like it. Well, I thought you might enjoy having something different. As then Deku just says, "Well, I do like sweet things. I know I don't show it, but yeah, I really like desserts." As Setsuna just cheers up. Wait, really? Wow. Well, I recommend you get the strawberry parfait, and I'm gonna get the banana chocolate parfait. As the waiter comes up and then asks, and just goes, "Huh, what would the lovely couple want today?" As Setsuna and Izuku go red, and well, Izuku just say, I'll have the strawberry parfait, and she'll have the banana chocolate parfait. And the server goes back and giggles a bit and says, "All right, I'll put the order through now." And Setsuna was just apologizing, just saying, "Sorry, it's a bit embarrassing, wasn't it?" And it says, "Oh, I don't." As Izuku just says, "I don't mind." Ah, after all, well, they can think what they think. And at this point, Setsuna is blushing redder than a goddamn cherry. And she kind of looks down on her lap as Izuku, being a little bit dense, said, "What's wrong?" And she goes, "Nothing, nothing." And after a few minutes of talking after that, a few minutes after that, they get their desserts and they're both enjoying it. As then Deku just says, "This is really nice." And as Setsuna says, "Really? Can I try? I haven't tried the strawberry one before." My friend always gets it, but I always forget to ask if I can have a try. As Setsuna was about to get a spoon out and take some, as Izuku just grabbed someone his spoon and put it out in front of her. As she was a bit embarrassed, but she ate it and she's like, "Wow, it's really nice." As she was like, "Here, have try mine," and they both swapped in. As Izuku was a bit embarrassed being fed, and then after the whole day, they go back to the train station as they, well, take the train home. Well, Zuko and Setsuna take the train home from the city, and then part ways as Setsuna says something very interesting before, well, two of them, before the two of them part ways. As Ezekiel was thanking her for well, the very nice date that they had because it seemed it very much cheered him up. As well, saying this, Setsuna was blushing very hard and said, um, would you mind, would you mind going out with me?" As she was blushing very hard and almost looking like she's about to faint from how much blood was going into her face. And it's like, yeah, it was a stupid question. Just forget about it. As he said, well, without his mask and using normal English, well, Japanese, yes. As she looked up and he was smiling, and he said it again, yes. As then she she was so happy she started crying. As he well he started bending down. Like, what's wrong? What's wrong? He says, nothing. I'm just happy. As he hugged her, and then after stopping her from crying, they both parted ways. And this is where I am finishing off part 4 to What If Deku Was Toge Inumaki. I hope you guys like this part. I honestly liked the little data thrown at the end because it was just a cutesy thing to bounce off the submit to me kind of thing, and I like that. So yeah, that was just my 2 cents on that. But yeah, like and subscribe if you want to see more. Again, this is gonna be a co-video with part 3 of What If Deku Was Ahsoka for the 900 sub special. Again, I just want to say thank you very much again for the 900. Like, it's unbelievable that I've been growing this much in this short amount of time. Like, a week ago I was just barely at 600, and now I'm at 900. So yeah, I just want to say my thanks. I hope you like it. And for those, and then again, if we get to 1,000, the Yuta okkotsu would be the 1K special, and I'm really looking forward to releasing that because it's gonna be one of my darker stories. But other than that, Jane, and have a good one, guys.